Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink. It is time for some Path of Exile 2 discussion. That's right, Granny Games decided to do something a little bit unexpected. The last day before the major livestream announcement for Path of Exile 1's 3.28 patch, they decided to put out a big piece of news about Path of Exile 2. But don't worry, if you do play both games, these are not going to be some horrible clash. The race events they announced today are going to be some weeks after League start for Path of Exile 1, so you can get your Path of Exile 1 fix, play in the best part of the league, then you can jump over to these Last of the Druids race events if you're interested in them. Or alternately, if you're not interested in them, then it's not going to be something that takes a tremendous amount of focus away from Path of Exile 1, so it's not really going to split the player base. There will be a section of people who will jump over to this, but it won't be a huge one. So what can we expect here? This is going to be a race to kill Tavakai at the end of Act 4. The rule set is going to be solo self-found, Fate of the Vaal, fixed layout. And also it's going to be what I would term Mediumcore. So let's go through all four of these. Firstly, it's solo self-found. That means that someone that's popular and very well regarded in this particular format, they have their skill to rely upon, but they don't have the support of other players. So if I'm against Angormus, Angormus is going to absolutely crush me on the basis of skill gap, rather than on the basis of getting a whole bunch of things funneled to him by friends and fans. Instead, he's just going to win because he's better at the game, especially Act 1 to 4, than I will be. Secondly, it is Fate of the Vaal. What this means is that the incursion mechanics that have completely warped endgame loot in Path of Exile 2, those are going to be present, and they have a really positive impact during the campaign. As much as I don't like the way that they make it so that basically killing monsters doesn't have any prospect of dropping loot at endgame unless they're from the temple, during the campaign, that's not the case at all. During the campaign, there's a couple of deterministic spots that you can get some cool loot upgrades, and the things that you can know that are coming, you can plan for them, and you can target farm them, or alternately, you can decide on the fly whether you need them or not. So that's really significant. In particular, if you're feeling a little bit underpowered, you can go to various places and deterministically get a lesser jeweler's orb, so that you're a bit more powerful when it comes to some of the tankier bosses. It is also a fixed layout environment. What does fixed layout mean? It means that the same exact layouts are going to spawn for everyone. So if I get completely lost in the Drowned City and Angormus gets through it in exactly 45 seconds, well, that's going to be a skill gap issue. That is going to be because I have no idea what I'm doing, whereas he can look through the particular tells that are there and can absolutely blitz through the entire area with a whole bunch of knowledge that I just don't have. On top of this, it is what I term medium core. Medium core in the sense that it is harder core than soft core, but softer than hardcore. The rules that are going to be in play: if your character goes splat, you are banned from making progress for 2.5 minutes. 150 seconds, you'll be frozen in place. Then after that 150 seconds ends, then and only then can you restart. This one's going to be significant because it's something that allows you to take risks to catch up. But at the same time, whilst you can take risks to try and catch up, if you do fail, you're going to end up being further behind. What I really like about this is that it captures some of the best of hardcore in that risks feel like they matter, but it also does so while capturing the best of softcore, which is that failing means the same at the start of the event as it does at the end of the event. Both are equally painful, and also both of them are actually something that matters. There'll be ladders available, and there's some adminis trivia if you're interested in playing. Details of that down in the description below. So when are these events? They are going to be something that you can see in your own time zone if you're logged into Grinding Games' website and you have a look at the relevant thread. But for me in Australia, they're March 30, April 6, April 13, and they all start at 6 a.m. my local. However, for different time zones, of course, they're going to mostly be earlier than that. So if you're in PDT, it's going to be March 29, April 5, April 12. Now, I do think that one of these is actually clashing with Easter as well. And for some people, that might be a bit difficult with religious observances, but that's just the way it goes. Everything is bad for someone, everything is good for someone in terms of times that are picked, and these are the times that have been chosen. Worth noting, if you are intending to race, especially if you're competitive, if you're someone that's really, really fast, you definitely want to join the race a little bit early. So you want to lock in your character name, you want to create your character. You won't be able to move your character until the race starts, but you want to be in world right at the start, right at the instant it starts. What are the prizes? 24 of this awesome MTX. It's actually a unique item that can be converted into an MTX. This is the Demigod's Virtue unique helmet. This thing looks really cool, and there's going to be 24 of them available. Why 24? Because there's 3 races, and in each race, one of these is going to be awarded to the fastest time on each different base class. So the fastest druid is going to get one, the fastest warrior is going to get one, the fastest monk, etc., etc. There's going to be some other prizes as well. There'll be displays, physical prizes that'll be awarded to one person from each race, and on top of that, one person overall, just based on the fastest time. They will be able to liaise with Granny Games on designing a divination card. Divination cards don't yet exist in Path of Exile 2, but there's something that exists in Path of Exile 1, and they will be coming to Path of Exile 2 at some point. There are some important rules here. Firstly, it is not mandatory to stream. There are no limitations to how many of the races you can join, and you don't need to qualify for them. And importantly, we have the Jung Rowan rule in play. This means that your character names need to be something that's not necessarily completely safe for work, but it needs to be something that could be broadcast on television. So keep the names that are super edgy aside, save them for League Start, and the names that are more family friendly, this is the spot to use those. If you are someone that is known by a particular moniker, you can use that moniker, or alternately, you can decide to just use something completely different entirely if you want, so that you can hide your strategies from other players. Importantly, Granny Games staff will be excluded from winning prizes in these events, and that's because they have a bunch of foreknowledge of changes and the like. There is also one other important thing. This is that 2 skill gems will not exist in this event. Incinerate and Flame Breath. These are not going to be able to be selected in the gem cutting menu, as their interaction with Oil Grenade will be fixed in patch 0.5.0. So same rules for everyone. That nerf is going to be in play for everyone. You're not going to be able to take those particular gems. Keep that in mind when you're planning your build, and also keep that in mind when you're considering contingency plans for during the event as well. Now, you're going to be able to watch this, and honestly, I think for many people, the best way to participate in this will not necessarily be as a player, but as a watcher, because Path of Exile 2 racing is really interesting to view. Now, Ziggy D is going to be shoutcasting it on days 1 and 3. Race 2 is going to be Crimson Cast, and if you haven't already seen it, Crimson Cast did fantastic commentary. I actually think this is the best commentary of a speedrun that I've seen in pretty much any game. He did this for one of the games done quick marathons, and Gormus was racing there. It was a really fantastic thing to watch, and you can have a look at that and get a sense as to what to expect from Crimson Cast. Really, really fantastic person for having commentary there. Honestly, might be one of the big highlights. So that's going to be on those 3 days. If you're interested, then definitely feel free to check out all the details of that down in the description below. And if otherwise you're just mostly hanging around looking for more news on patch 3.28 over in Path of Exile 1, then of course I will be doing my live coverage of the main live stream announcement. So that's going to be on, I'm going to say tomorrow, but for you, depending on where you are in the world, it might even be today. May your Vaal orbs have interesting results.